welcome to your weekly human design horoscope in business and money. This is a completely new series that I decided to start this week and trial and see how I go. Really, what we will go through is a weekly update based on the human design transit that are currently happening so that you can anticipate and see what to expect in your week in money and in relation to income, in relation to your business, and start to prepare, start to notice certain things to pay attention to, or maybe certain things to avoid. The reason that I started this and decided to dive into the current transit in human design is really because this week, especially this weekend, and I'm speaking from the 27th of February right now when I'm recording this, it's just been a really, really big weekend with a lot of things happening. Our family is in Ukraine. I've got family in Ukraine, very close family in Ukraine, who are obviously dealing with what they're dealing with right now. I am also located in Queensland, where we've got some flooding happening, probably the biggest floods that we've had for over 10 years. And surprise, surprise, also, my car got smashed, a massive branch fell on it, and I need to figure out how to fix it, and it's not looking straightforward. So there's a lot going on, and it made me think, all right, well, what is going on? What is going on with the planets? And obviously my background in human design made me go into the transit and look deeper into that. And that was really interesting and enlightening. So I wanted to start to do this as an update, start the series, see how I go. So please, if you're listening to this, let me know how you find today, and I'd love to keep supporting you and helping you in any way that I can to help with your business and help you grow your income. So this update is from the 2nd of March to the 7th of March. The reason for that is because we've got the new moon coming in on the 2nd, and the sun is entering gate 63. Now, gate 63 is the gate of having doubts and really wanting answers for those doubts. So really, it's all about looking around you, looking at all the information that you're receiving, the people that you're talking to, and in the back of your mind having a little voice that is kind of continuously doubting things. And it's not necessarily in a negative way. It's more like you're not willing to take things at face value. So you're starting to question, you're starting to look at, all right, well, where is their conditioning? Maybe it's something that, the society is putting pressure on us. It's really allowing you to look at the bigger picture and say, okay, well, what is not looking right over here? Why do I feel this doubt around certain things? So you start to notice maybe in your business, again, the people that you're talking to, there might be some doubts that come up for you. The thing is that it's not just you feeling doubtful about certain things or questioning certain things. You might also be able to pick up on other people's doubts. When it comes to gates in human design, every gate has a positive charge and a negative charge. Every gate has a light and a shadow. So I love to explore both of those ends. I guess the light part of this gate 63, is really giving you that capacity to expand and say, all right, well, I'm not just going to take this at face value and what these people are saying to me or what this information is giving me, or maybe the research that I've done or the results that I'm getting, that I'm seeing in my own research. But it allows you to expand your horizon and say, okay, well, what else is here that I could dig deeper to really give me the answer that I need. The shadow part of this really is you being able to feel other people's doubts and taking them on. For example, you might have a new business idea, you might have a new way of creating an income or making more money, and you might go to a friend or you might go to a colleague where you start to share those ideas, and then they start to poke holes in it, or start to share their own doubts that weren't actually coming from you. Is you might really take that on and want to find answers for it. And that really is for you to recognize that, okay, these doubts aren't my own, these doubts are coming from somebody else. So really start to pay attention to, okay, are these doubts something that are coming from me that are innately mine, or is it doubts that I'm really feeling into that are not actually mine? Okay, so currently North Node is in Gate 8. Now it's been in Gate 8 since January. It's going to finish up in mid-March or so and move on to Gate 23. So the North Node is everything to do with where we are going. It's kind of like the near future. Where is it? What are we stepping into? Which direction are we facing? What is there in the future that's holding for us? Gate 8 is all to do with being the marketeer. So you're kind of the person that knows of all the latest, coolest stuff. You might have this kind of energy. You might have noticed that these new ideas of like, okay, I'm seeing that people are enjoying this in my business or in other businesses, or what I'm seeing on social media. Okay, they're really starting to attract to this. Or maybe you've noticed that some of the things that you've been putting out has been giving you some market research. Or perhaps right now is a really, really good time for you to start asking questions on your social media and your stories, asking people, like putting polls in and asking people certain things like, do you prefer when I share about this? Or what is it that you're struggling with the most? And start to collect information, because this is saying that your future, where it is that you're going, is that all of this information that you're collecting at the moment, the things that you're seeing, is allowing you to pick up all the relevant details to know, okay, what is something that your audience needs? What is it that your clients are needing right now? So you can be the person that like, look, this is the cool new thing. This is the thing that you guys are missing, that you guys have been wanting for so long, that people can start looking at you and say, oh yes, that's right. This is exactly what I need. Like you start to speak their language. So right now, so although we're talking about the North Node being the future where you're stepping into, right now is a perfect time to get into gear of like, all right, where can I collect that information so that I'm making the best offers, in the near future? And that could be sometime in March or later in March. What am I collecting? What information am I collecting? How am I talking to my clients? What is the problems that they're consistently telling me that they're having, that you're seeing not a lot of other people are creating that sort of offer for them? All right, next I want to talk about Venus, and we'll jump into Jupiter in a moment. So, when we look at Venus, Venus is really to do with how we're able to attract money to us. This is really exciting, and I love looking at where Venus is and which gate it is in. So, at the moment, Venus is in gate 60. And gate 60 is all to do with the intolerance of roadblocks. Okay, so what does that really mean? So it's really about you understanding, all right, I know that I need to get over here. This is what I need to do. Perhaps it's a certain offer that you're trying to create, or maybe it's a certain new way of choosing to get clients, or maybe you're trying something new, maybe a new project, and you're seeing that there's potential blocks in the way. You are innately are most likely, not to be like tolerating those blocks. And that could come in two ways, right? Like I said, there's a light and a shadow to everything. If we look at it from the light, having intolerance to roadblocks is saying, well, yes, I know that this is going to be a problem. I know that there's going to be like limitations or whatever, but I don't have a tolerance for it. I'm going to make it work. I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to go and talk to these people. I'm going to create the community that I need, whatever it looks like. I'm going to make it happen. So that's really, really great. The more you can lean into that, like, if you're running a business, if you're, wanting to grow your income, really having that determination is everything. The shadow part of it is really that side of you that maybe at the very beginning of the project or of the process, you look at it and you're like, oh crap, like I'm going to have so many of these things getting in my way. There's going to be these limitations and those limitations, and that's going to get in the way. And like, I'm just not going to worry about it. So it's like from the get-go, from the start, you're like, I'm not even going to step in that direction because that's too much. So really allow yourself this time, this week, to evaluate, okay, this step that I'm taking, this project that I really, really want to take on, or this new idea that I really have, what are the limitations, and really decide which side are you leaning on, because it's really going to be, you're either on the end of like, stuff it, I'm not even going to waste my time, or the other end of like, all right, if I'm taking this, I'm going full on, I'm going full out, I'm going to do anything that comes in my way and I'll make it work. So really lean into which direction you're going in before you sort of start the project. So in other words, the way that you're able to create and attract income most easily is when you make that decision of when you've decided to get started and really lean into that intolerance for any sort of thing that gets in your way of getting to the finish line. Jumping into Jupiter now. So Jupiter is all to do with beautiful fortune. It's all to do with the things that come easily to you, your own gifts, really sharing that aspect of it. That is also actually in gate 63, which is really, really interesting. So again, looking at doubts. So having those doubts, being able to question everything. So really allowing you to create fortune for yourself is really sitting in, not taking things at face value. The last thing that I want to mention when it comes to the current transit, starting from the 2nd of March, is that looking at the chart, there are a lot of hanging gates. Generally, a hanging gate means that one side of the gate is defined, and then as it continues the line, the other side of the gate that creates a channel is not defined. So speaking of that in a different way, if for example we know that gate 63, which is the sun and Jupiter, is defined at the moment, the other side of that gate is gate 4. So if you are someone who has gate 4 defined, for example, then you would create that channel. So this is where, all right, right now, if gate 63 is defined and I've got gate 4, it creates the channel and it gives you that flow of energy. So this is where you will feel that flow of energy between gate 63 and gate 4. And I'd encourage you to, I'm not just going to dive into, because there's a lot of hanging gates, I'm not going to dive into each one. So I definitely encourage you to pull up your chart, have a look at which gates you've got hanging and if they match up with any of the ones that I've spoken about, and look up what the channels actually mean. And this is where you're going to have a lot of flow and a lot of power, a lot of energy flowing through those two gates bouncing between each other. I hope that you've enjoyed this weekly human design horoscope in business and money. Please feel free to send me a message and let me know if you enjoyed this, what have you found interesting, and what you'd like to know more about. And I will see you beautiful wealthy madams next week.